Okay, here's just I'm going to just announce this. There's some things that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about or not, so I will have to skip some questions. Yes. So I don't want to be rude, but there's some things we sign things and so we can't talk about stuff, so. Okay.
Are there any roles that you hate?
Roles that I played that I hate? Yeah. Or a couple. I can't tell you. I think they'll never want to bring me back in to work for them. They'll be like, oh, so he hates that? How's he going to like hating having nothing? Alright, green shirt. Favorite role? I like a lot of them. Kiwa's one. Kana the Cure was really awesome. That's a character I would love to play if we do live action version. Nero from Devil May Cry 4 would probably be my favorite. And the reason is, with anime, specifically anime, you know, it's already done. You know, Japan, Korea, wherever. And so we're matching whatever is already drawn. So if like Ichigo's screaming, I gotta make him scream. If he's crying, I gotta make him cry. With Devil May Cry 4, it's a script. And so it was like doing a film. You know, I got a script and I got to make all these choices. Do I want to make him emotional here? Where do I take the character? So it was really, there was no limitations, you know, within whatever the guidelines the director gave us or staged us in. But there's really, I could do whatever I wanted, you know? And it really came down to that, because like as I read the script, I was familiar with Devil May Cry, the first game, so I knew Dante's character. And then, so when I read the script, I thought, oh, my first read through, I felt like Nero was a lot like, you know, Dante. So I went to the director, and I was like, I'm not sure where I should take this, if I should just go immature, or, you know, I kind of have some ideas, and he stopped me, like, as I'm, like, panicking, and he's like, you are Nero. And he walks away. That was all he told me, you know? And then I was like, so, you're saying I can do whatever I want, and, or whatever feels right. And, you know, that's where I did it, and it actually made it more fun that way. And I got to go to Japan to do motion capture for it. So, that's all right. Have you guys been to Japan? Anybody? Well, who wants to go to Japan? We should all take a field trip. My band, we're trying to go there probably at the end of the year sometime. So, if you're thinking of going, maybe you can come with us. I'm serious. If you guys were to go with us, that would be awesome. Because it's really cool there. But it is expensive. Okay. Yes, you guys have a contest for that. Should have a contest? Oh, so we can pay for food? We gotta pay for ourselves. So much money already. Yes. Ichigo scream?
We did.
Just like any scream? Like a bankai? Heroes or villains? It depends on the script, you know. Sometimes the heroes are pretty fun to play. Villains usually always have something kind of cool to play with. Depends on the script, I don't know. I kind of like them both. I've done a few villains, you know. I guess so far each of the villains I've played I really enjoyed. There's been a few heroes that I haven't. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Because it was actually the same studio. Like, I dumped Klaus
And I used a younger kid voice, you know, it wasn't too much.
And then with Renton, it was like really high, you know? Like, I'm panicking all the time. And that was their choice, because I thought, well, why don't I just do the same as Klaus? He's not too, you know, high pitched, not having more range there. But it was because they had already dubbed Eureka 7. Like, they were in 13 episodes, and then they had, the thing is there's the company here and the company in Japan. So the company here approved whatever was going on, and they chose, I guess, the original Renton was a lower range. And they sent that, Japan finally saw it, was like, no recast. They didn't even give that actor, who was very good and able to do it, a chance to do a higher range version of Renton. So they just immediately were like, well, we gotta find somebody else, so they were holding auditions. So I went in, I thought it was just auditioning for like a guest role, like a one-time character. I went in and I just played this voice, and they're like, actually, can you pitch it up really high? Keep going, keep going. And they're like, right in there. I was like, okay, sure, but I'm not gonna have a lot of range there. And I'm like, it's okay. And then I got the part, and then they called me and said, okay, so in about like 1 week, we need to get 13 episodes done, which is a lot. And especially in that high-pitched range, you know, it's like, dude, that's burnout, you know, because there's a lot of screaming and high range. And then my thing was like, I was like, if you could bring me down a little bit so I can have more range and not sound whiny the whole time. And they're like, no, we should keep it up there, keep it up there. And then, sure enough, like after like a few, like, I would say probably close to episode 20-ish, then they were like, you can bring it back, you know? Which was, it was kind of the director and the producer on this side kind of choice, because they were afraid that if they didn't push me high enough, I'd get replaced too, you know? It's kind of weird, I don't know. The show was still cool. I personally didn't like my voice the first few episodes where they had me. Yeah, no, me too. The first episode I was like, that's not right. I was like, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right, it sounds like he's a whiny little baby the whole time. But then with the show, you kind of get used